That's how we do it.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is how we do it in Vegas,
At
baby.
the airport.
At the
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah.
High five, high five.
Yeah. Fucking A.
That's good. Oh, good job.
That's what I'm talking about.
1,200, baby.
Yeah.
How about the green Benjamin?
This is our new best friend here, Clint Arthur. Motivational speaker and author of Breakthrough Your Upper Limits on TV, Clint Arthur.
Clint delivers. He pours it on. He is all heart. And he's a total expert in this space like nobody we've ever met.
Only Clint is the only guy that delivers this local television station media training.
Clint Arthur, you totally rock.
Clint over delivers, and he says it all the time. It's very true. Believe the man. He knows what he's talking about. Wow, like this is easy. This is what I'm looking for. And you know, Clint said it would be like that, but now that we're here, I'm actually experiencing it.
If you're interested in getting your celebrity status elevated, Clint's the guy you gotta go to.
Baby, let me tell you.
My celebrity mentor, Clint Arthur.
Delivered so far beyond my wildest expectations.
Thank God for Clint Arthur. He's anointed to do this work.
Clint Arthur is a guy that you can work with. He's going to deliver on what he promises, and he by far exceeded my expectations in terms of making this happen, hooking me up, coaching me and guiding me through.
If you live as if this is going to be the last year of your life, you are going to look at everything in a much more empowered and positive way, because you'll say, oh, I have this deadline. I've got to make it happen this year.
You mentioned that that's an important thing to ask of yourself. How comfortable are you not being comfortable in your comfort zone?
Life begins where your comfort zone ends. And the more you push outside of your everyday life and your boundaries, the more you're going to grow as a person and achieve in this world and create as a legacy.
It's scary.
It can be.
Yeah.
That's when it's great, is when it's scary.
Clint Arthur, you're the best.
Oh,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much for being here. We just love him.
My pleasure.
Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The GKIC Info Marketer of the Year, Clint Arthur.
We're sitting here talking about how Reno went yesterday for Tom Mack, because he was on ABC Reno yesterday. So talk about what happened in a moment yesterday. Like in a moment when he was going to interrupt you.
So I could see in Dave's face that he was preparing to speak. He was preparing to jump in. And as I saw that, I just sped up a little bit so that I could keep on going and not allow him to jump in and not allow him to interrupt me.
And normally in conversation, what would you normally do?
Normally I'd be polite. I'd let somebody else speak. You want to break in, you want to speak, I allow it. But I've learned now that to have control of the conversation, you bulldoze. You continue to keep control and keep on going.
Okay, so I say bulldoze. Right now you can bulldoze. Right now, in the beginning, all of this stuff that we do is awkward.
Yeah.
Or less than artistic. But as you get more and more adept at using these concepts of communication and self-expression, then you'll even become artistic in the way that you dominate a conversation, and the person won't even know. All they will feel is your personal power. And that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Personal power, communication, and getting what you want out of any situation at all. So yesterday, when you were in Reno, the host, how well prepared was the host for the interview?
Absolutely no preparation whatsoever. He didn't have the segment sheet. He knew my name. That was it. He knew who I was. He had no idea what I was going to talk about. No idea what even the name of the book was. Nothing.
And that's exactly what you should expect.
And he was happy to go into the segment knowing nothing.
100%. That's the way most of them are. They know nothing about what you're talking about. They have no knowledge of your topic. And that's why it's dangerous to expect them to ask good questions. It's dangerous for them to be relied upon for leadership in a segment. You, as the expert of the topic, you, as essentially the producer of the segments, need to lead your way through the segment, and that's what they really want. They want a guest who's going to come in and tell them exactly everything that needs to happen in a segment, and ideally just lead the segment in a way where they have an opportunity to interrupt and look semi-intelligent, and yet all the information for the audience gets conveyed by you, the expert guest.
Keep bringing it back around.
Just keep advancing the topic forward to where you need it to go. That's where it's all about. All right, so good morning. Our 8:23 today, and our guest is an advocate of parents being mean to their kids. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is, and thank you, Clint, for having me. It's a real honor to be here today. You know, I'm the father of 8 children, 2 of which we adopted from Ukraine, and I really empathize with Prince William and Princess Kate's struggle to limit Prince George's screen time, because that's a real struggle today. I teach parents how to protect their kids from online predators, cyberbullies, and internet addictions. And the first #1 tip is don't let your kids take their cell phones, laptops, and tablets into their bedroom. That's tip #1. Anything that you can surf the internet with doesn't go in the bedroom. No, not in my house. It's way too easy for kids to hide who they're talking to and what they're looking at. Plus, those devices, they bing, ding, and buzz all night long, keeping your kids awake. And the second tip is the cell phones, laptops, and tablets, they sleep in the kitchen. Kids don't have chargers in their bedrooms. Not in my house. Those chargers are all in the kitchen, and devices need to be plugged in and put to sleep by 10 p.m. on school nights and 11 p.m. on non-school nights. Earlier for younger kids. And then tip #3, kids need to treat everything that they view, post, publish, text, chat, or type as public and permanent, and that they're not going to say anything that's going to demean themselves or anybody else. No, not in my house. They really need to get that and agree that that's how they're going to behave online. And tip #4, kids may not text, email, or chat with anybody that they don't know face to face. Look, somebody may say they know your friend, or I'm a friend of this friend over here. No, not in my house. If you don't know that person face to face, you may not text, email, chat, or communicate with them, period.
Okay, stop. So I want you to be more emphasizing in what you say, okay? Because right now, this is how it sounded. No, if you don't know them face to face, you may not text, blah, 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 blah.
If you don't know them face to face, you may not text, email, chat, or communicate with them, period.
You may not text, email, chat, or communicate with them at all electronically. If you don't know a person face to face, you may not, right? You have to emphasize.
Okay.
This is about powerful communication. All right? Now, you started out by saying, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. You don't need to say that unless they say, thanks so much for coming in. Okay? The only reason I want you to be lame is if they're forcing you to be lame.
Okay.
Because I personally think it's lame when they do that. But sometimes they will do it. And if they're going to be lame, then you can't be rude.
So I would just say thank you and go in.
No.
Not even thank you?
They go, so my guest here this morning is an advocate of parents being mean to kids. Isn't that right? And then you say, hey, I teach parents how to keep their kids safe from cyberbullies, online predators, and whatever. And I wrote about it in my new book, Not in My House. And as a father of 8 kids, 2 of which I adopted from the Ukraine, I've had a lot of experience in keeping kids safe. And that's why I got 5 major tips about how parents can do it. And the first one is no cell phones, tablets, or laptops allowed in the bedroom ever. Never, ever allowed in the bedroom. Because if they can go in a room and close the door and be in private, you don't know what they're going to do online, or who they're going to talk to, or what they're going to look at. And it's very easy for a kid to get themselves in trouble when they've got unlimited access to all the information in the world in the privacy of a locked bedroom. Right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I should work that in.
That's what I would say. Now, you've heard me say it. You have permission to say it exactly like that.
Okay. That's a lot. Okay. So, I've been very much trying to stick to the script, but I can just go freestyle, and as long as I finish tip 1 and move on to tip 2.
The script is not important. What's important is outstanding communication about your talking points. And communication must evolve,
Yeah.
right? So it evolves through iteration, through rehearsal. You are not required to parrot the script verbatim. What you are required to do is to become a better and better communicator. Okay? So our guest today is an educator for parents, and you're into like being mean to kids, aren't you?
I certainly am. I teach parents how to protect their kids.
Okay, stop. I don't like you agreeing.
I can't agree.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Don't agree with the host.
Right. They say, a lot of times they'll say provocative shit like that so that you will disagree. That's the point. I mean, you're not in favor of being mean to kids.
Well, that's the subtitle of the book. All the things we did to torture our kids through the years.
Really? That's not the subtitle.
It's not the
of the
official
book.
subtitle, but that's the truth.
Well, but look, you're not trying to make people be mean to kids. What you're trying to do is keep kids safe.
So, just deflect that and say,
What's the message of your book, Tom? What's the goal of this whole campaign?
it's how to protect kids from online predators, cyberbullies, and internet addictions.
Okay, so do you think sometimes it's right for parents to be mean?
To be firm. Sometimes that's being viewed as mean. Protecting your kids, that can be viewed as mean. But it protects the kids. And in the end, that's what matters. Like, you're protecting your kids. Whether they like it or don't like it, you're still protecting your kids.
I tell you what, man. I think that a lot of times, like for example, for today's show and tomorrow's show, they had me fill out a guest questionnaire for you. And if I were to do it again, I would say the first question would be, so why do you want parents to be mean to kids? Because it's a provocative question. It's a provocative question, and yet it's right, but yet it's not really right.
It's the kid's perception, not the parent's perception.
Right. All right, so let's start again. Ready? So it's 9:06 a.m. today, and we have a great guest in the studio. You're in favor of parents essentially tying kids up in chastity belts, aren't you?
We teach parents how to keep their kids safe online and safe from online predators, cyberbullies, and internet addictions. I wrote a book called Keeping. What am I? I wrote a book called.
I would start with being a dad.
Oh yeah, okay.
I would start with being a dad. I mean, that's your story.
Yeah.
And always try to put story in first. Always try to put story in first, even though I know how hard it is. I swear to God, I know how hard it is. A lot of times they will say to you, all right, let's get right into the first tip. Even when they say that, always put in story first. I'm a dad. I got 8 kids, 2 of which I adopted from the Ukraine. I've had a lot of experience with this stuff, and my number one goal for my kids is always to keep them safe. And today, with phones, everybody's got a cell phone connecting them to the internet, all kinds of bad people out there in the world. How do you do that? I got 5 tips.
Freestyle.
It's not, how many hours of rehearsal have you done?
For this segment, 40.
40 hours. Okay? So I think you can I think you know what you're talking about, but you need to have permission. You have to understand, you have permission to communicate powerfully and effectively, and whatever you need to do is what you need to do. Okay? Great. So the author of the book, Not in My House, is here today. Good morning, sir.
Thanks for having me, Clint. It's an honor to be here today. My wife and I have 8 children, 2 of which we adopted from an orphanage in Ukraine. And we really empathize with Prince William and Princess Kate's struggle to limit Prince George's screen time, because that's a real struggle today. And
I teach parents.
I don't know why I'm liking on you this morning. And I teach parents.
And I've got the TV on to distract you on purpose. You think this is bad? Wait till we go in big studios. And we are. We're going in big studios this weekend.
So I teach parents how to protect their kids from online predators, cyberbullies, and internet addictions. And then the most important tip is don't let your kids take their cell phones, laptops, and tablets into their bedroom. Any device that has internet browsing just doesn't go in the bedroom. No, not in my house. It's way too easy for the kids to hide who they're talking to and what they're looking at. Plus, those devices bing, ding, and buzz all night long, keeping your kids awake. Second tip is the cell phones, laptops, and tablets, they sleep in the kitchen. Kids, they don't have chargers in their bedroom. Not in my house. Those chargers are all in the kitchen. And the kids need to plug in their devices and put them to sleep by 10 p.m. on school nights and 11 p.m. on non-school nights.
Yeah, why in the kitchen?
Because that's a safe place outside of the bedroom. You know, when the kids have those devices in their bedroom, you know, it's privacy. They can look at anything they want to. They can talk to anybody they want to, and they can just get lost in the freedom of the internet.
Okay, you know, here's one that I would say, and that is, you know, if it's in the kitchen, I can see it. That's a good central place in the house where you know, it doesn't have to be the kitchen, but that's a nice central place in the house where I know that the phones are there. I look on the counter and there they are. Okay, what's the third tip?
Third tip is kids may not text, email, chat, or communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. So somebody may say, you know, I'm a friend of your friend over here, or, you know, I know this friend. No, not in my house. If you don't know that person face to face, you may not text, email, chat, or communicate with them, period.
Great, that's a great point. You can really get in a lot of trouble. There's all kinds of people impersonating 13-year-old girls.
Pretending they're somebody else.
Right.
Absolutely. So if you don't know them, it's like stranger danger on the internet.
There you go. Good, what's the fourth tip?
Fourth tip is kids need to treat everything that they view, post, publish, text, chat, or type as public and permanent. And they're not going to say anything to demean themselves or anybody else. No, not in my house. They really need to get that and agree that that's how they're going to behave online.
Okay, and how do you get them to behave like that?
Good question. So we trust our kids to behave because they're being trained on how to be respectful of other people.
Come on, man! I gave it to you on a silver platter. That's perfect intro to tip number 5, which is the contract. We don't, you know, you cannot expect a kid, even if they tell you, oh, mom, don't worry, I'll never talk to any strangers on the internet. They're going to. And you need to get them to sign a written contract that says if they ever talk to anybody who they don't know, online or on the internet, then they lose their phone. And if they won't sign, you take the phone away. And if they violate the contract, they take the phone away. There has to be a penalty because unless you enforce these rules, your kid is going to become a victim of cybercrime, cyberbullies, and online predators.
Wonderful.
You can do this, okay? All right, so let's go back to tip number 3. What's the third tip you have?
So the third tip is kids need to treat everything that they view, post, publish, text, chat, or type as public and permanent, and that they're not going to say anything to demean themselves or anybody else. No, not in my house. They really need to agree that that's how they're going to behave online.
Okay, what's the second tip?
Kids need to, all the cell phones, laptops, and tablets sleep in the kitchen. Kids don't have chargers in the bedroom. All those devices, they sleep in the kitchen. They need to be plugged in and put to sleep by 10 p.m. on school nights and 11 p.m. on non-school nights.
What about the living room? Can you put them in the living room?
It really doesn't matter which room in the house they go in, as long as they're out in public view. So you can see that those devices are put to sleep.
What's the fourth tip?
The fourth tip is that kids may not text, email, chat, or communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. You know, somebody may say, I'm a friend of your friend, or, you know, I know this friend over here. No, not in my house. If you don't know that person face to face, you may not text, email, chat, or communicate with them, period.
What's the first tip?
First tip is that cell phones, laptops, and tablets don't go in the bedroom. That's the first tip. Anything that has internet capacity doesn't go in the bedroom. No, not in my house. All those, it's way too easy for kids to hide who they're talking to and what they're looking at. Plus, those devices, they bing, dig, and buzz all night long, keeping your kids awake.
What's the fourth tip?
The fourth tip is kids may not text, email, chat, or communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. Somebody may say they know your friend, or I'm a friend of this friend over here. No, not in my house. If you don't know that person face to face, you may not text, email, chat, or communicate with them, period.
What's the second tip?
Second tip is that all cell phones, laptops, and tablets need to be put to sleep in the kitchen. Kids don't have chargers in their bedroom. No, not in my house. All those chargers are in the kitchen, and devices need to be plugged in and put to sleep by 10 p.m. on school nights and 11 p.m. on non-school nights.
What's the third tip?
Third tip is that kids may not text, email, chat, or communicate with anybody they don't know face to face. Somebody may say that I'm a friend of this friend over here, or I know that friend, but no. If you don't know that person face to face, you may not text, email, chat, or communicate with them, period.
What's the fifth tip?
The fifth tip is, before you buy your kids a cell phone, or before you renew your kid's cell phone plan, they need to sign a written agreement agreeing to the previous 4 tips. Look, if they don't want to agree to the rules that you've set, that's okay. They don't get a phone. If they don't sign the agreement, they don't get a phone. No, not in my house.
What if you catch them talking to somebody that they don't know? Or what if is it okay, do you advocate that a parent should get like a disposable phone and like try to trick the kid into texting with them even though they're unknown?
You can certainly test your kids, but they've signed an agreement. And if they don't uphold their agreement, they lose the privilege to have a phone. It's that simple.
Fantastic. What's the second tip?
The second tip is the cell phones, laptops, and tablets, they sleep in the kitchen. Kids don't have chargers in their bedroom. No, not in my house. All those chargers are in the kitchen. Devices need to be plugged in and put to sleep by 10 p.m. on school nights and 11 p.m. on non-school nights.
What's the fourth tip?
The fourth tip is that kids may not text, email, chat, or communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. Somebody may say, I'm a friend of your friend, or I know this friend over here. No, not in my house. If you don't know that person face to face, you may not text, email, chat, or communicate with them, period.
Isn't this mean to kids? I mean, don't they have a right to have communications with their friends?
They have a right to communicate with their friends, but it's the parents' job to keep them safe. And that's why we have the kids sign a contract agreeing to the previous 4 tips. Look, if they don't want to agree to the rules that you've set, they don't get to have a phone. If you don't sign an agreement, you don't get a phone.
Not in my house.
Not in my house.
Right?
And they'll agree. And they'll sign.
I want you to understand like this whole not in my house, and I want you to own the not in my house thing. Because, it's like, hey, look, I'm the parent. In my house, it's my rules. Mm-hmm. You don't want to sign? That's okay. But you don't get a phone. Not in my house. Right? Good. This was good, huh?
Yeah, I'm not used to jumping around.
I get it. I get it. This was really good.
And I keep flip-flopping 3 and 4.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly. Just keep on going.
Yeah. I didn't know.
It doesn't matter.
I didn't know. I didn't even know. Right? And I know. I don't even know. If I don't know, who's going to know?
Nobody knows. It matters not.
Hey, I saw a really killer audition yesterday on Britain's Got Talent. Have you seen this girl, Alice Fredenham?
No.
Oh, she's like a white Sade mixed with Billie Holiday. And powerful, right? And she forgot the words of the song in the middle of the fucking song and kept and I could tell that something was wrong, but only because I know the song. And Simon was like, "Hey, look, you forgot you obviously forgot the words to the song in the middle of the song, but it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. All that people care about is what they're feeling from you in the moment." So, I'm telling you.
It's all about the performance.
It's Alice Fredenham.
Hello. How are you? Scared.
Your voice is like liquid gold.
My first audition was really nerve-wracking. Before auditioning for Britain's Got Talent, I also auditioned for The Voice. I had quite high expectations, but I was unsuccessful. It knocked me back completely. So to audition for Britain's Got Talent was quite a big decision for me. I wasn't sure if I was ready to put myself in that position again. I was having massive bouts of self-doubt.
The easiest yes I've given throughout the whole competition.
I was overwhelmed, I just didn't expect that. To be given that kind of reception, you're putting yourself up for a fall, and I just don't want my nerves to get in the way of what I know I'm capable of.
Here she is, please welcome Alice Fredenham.
drove me, nearly drove me out of my head. While you never shed a tear, told me love was too plebeian. Told me you would throw me in. And now you say love me, and you have been true. I've been true to you.
Okay?
Alice. Keep on trying to touch it. Stop it. Alice, you are every inch a star. You look incredible up there. And I love it when someone just stands on the stage and draws us in, as you did, to the emotion of that song. It was truly stunning. And from the moment you appeared on the show a month or so ago, people have been talking about you as a potential winner, and I hope people don't forget to vote for you tonight.
Alice, the first time we met you, you were a really shy girl, and tonight as well, you're coming across very kind of scared, and I know there was a slight mistake in there, but trust me when I tell you this, your voice is so seductive and beautiful, it doesn't matter. What matters is you carried on, you got to the end of it. It was alluring, the whole performance was majestical and hypnotising.
Yeah.
Please do not doubt yourself from this moment forward. You've got to believe in yourself. That was great.
Alicia is absolutely right, Alice. Alice, look at me. Don't spoil that. Don't spoil those 2 minutes by worrying about it now, because you should be proud of yourself. You are kind of old Hollywood 30s. There's so many celebrities out there at the moment. There aren't many stars. You are a star. I promise you.
Alice, right. Making a mistake on a song is not the end of the world. I think where you've had an issue tonight is there's been so much controversy about you, about this show, going on the other show, are you authentic, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm not easily fooled. The person I saw when you auditioned was the real you. Okay, you were nervous, but when I said you've got a voice like liquid gold, I'm going to change that. It's liquid platinum, this voice. It really is. I mean, you've got the potential, Alice, if you start believing in yourself, because there's a real place in the market for artists like you. As Amanda said, you're old school, authentic, you're beautiful, I think you're a great person, and I really, really hope, the show's called Britain's Got Talent, that the public get behind you, because you deserve to get through to the final. You really do.
Thanks, judges. So having watched that, I want you to understand that you're the same as her. You have a powerful message. You have a message that people need to hear and that parents want to hear, and you stand for that, okay? You're not a seductress siren song singer like her. You're an advocate for family values and for safety of children and for goodness in the world and for helping kids to be the best that they can be. That's what you stand for. And you just showing up on a set, it hardly matters what you say. However, what this is all about is enabling you to say it in a way where no matter what you say, you make an impression, you get the message out there, and you change lives and save lives. Okay?
Got it.
So when they say to you something like, do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing? And you say, I think this is a good thing. Why? See, your job as an expert on a topic is to express an opinion. And you need to trust in the fact that as the father of 8 kids, you have an expert opinion on any topic when it comes to raising kids. And all you have to do is express. but that's what you're there to do, to express opinions. Okay? So, how old do you think a kid should be before you give them a phone?
I think kids should be 12 years old when they get their first telephone. So I'm going to change that. So younger kids can have a basic phone, like a flip phone, that can only make phone calls and send texts. As kids get older, 12 or 13 years old, they can get into a smartphone with limited functionality. And then as they get older into high school, they can have full functionality in a smartphone, like an iPhone.
Okay, why?
Because
it's about why.
Okay.
Okay, everything, like the real finer points of life are about why. Why are you doing things? Why are you doing things? That's what really matters. People will buy your stuff more quickly if they know why you're so passionate about it and it appeals to them.
So younger kids don't need complete, unrestricted access to the internet in their pockets. To keep your kids safe, we give them a basic flip phone, just a basic phone that can make a phone call and a text message. It might be limited just to family, just to parents and siblings. And then as they get older and they have more trust and more responsibility, they can have a phone that has more functionality.
We just had breakthrough messaging right here. Would you give a third grader a gun? That's exactly what you're doing when you put unlimited internet access into their hands in a cell phone. They can order poisons off the internet. They can order kits teaching them how to make guns or bombs. They can order all the components of the bomb. Think about the explosive damage they could do to their reputations or lives through the words that they say or the pictures or videos that they send on the internet of themselves or others. That's what you're doing when you put that kind of power into the hands of a child.
When my kids were in third grade, cell phones weren't popular yet. They didn't have a phone in their pocket. They were younger teenagers when they got their first phones. But today, where first, second, and third graders are getting phones, it's a whole different world. Those kids, they can order prescription drugs from India. They can order guns. They can order kits for making bombs. They can share, messages and videos and pictures with the world with complete unrestricted access to the internet. It's like giving your kid a gun.
What's the third tip?
Everything you post or text is public and permanent. Think of it this way. You wouldn't give your kid a gun. When you give them unrestricted internet access, they can post pictures and videos of themselves and others that can totally destroy their lives.
There you go. Now we're getting there. All right. So the third tip is they need to treat everything that they post or text as public and permanent. Now, you wouldn't want to put a gun in your kid's hand, but that's essentially what you've done when you put an iPhone or any kind of smartphone in your kid's hand and give them permission to use it. They can post photos and videos of themselves or others that could destroy somebody's life. Simon was sad for that girl, Alice Fredenham, because he saw so much potential for her. And what happened was she couldn't take the pressure. And I'm telling you, showbiz that we're trying to work through here ourselves, there is a lot of pressure. And when you get to these big opportunities, handling the pressure is part of the responsibility of the star. And if you cannot handle the pressure, you screwed up, just like Alice Fredenham. There's 2 videos of her from Britain's Got Talent, and they're super high quality, professional. And then you look for other videos of her on YouTube, and they're all schlock. They don't have the quality, because to get to the levels where we want to go, to the Today Show, Good Morning America, Fox Business Channel, when you get to those levels and you're working with the best people in the world, the quality is off the charts compared to what people can produce in their basement or garage in South Carolina or anywhere else that you want to go. There is a reason why American top-level national media is so respected around the world, and the reason is the quality. And you cannot fake it. What's the third tip?
Your kids need to understand that everything that they post or text is public and permanent, and that they cannot say anything that's going to demean themselves or anybody else. It's like giving your kids a loaded gun when you give them unrestricted internet access. They can post videos, they can post pictures of themselves or anybody else, and these videos, they can destroy lives.
Okay, so that's much better, okay? I'm gonna say it again, okay? So the third tip is that you need to get your kid to understand that anything that they post or text should be considered public and permanent. Now, you wouldn't want to give your kid a gun, would you? But that's essentially what you've done when you put an HD video camera with unlimited internet access into the hands of a 13-year-old kid, because they can post pictures and videos of themselves or other kids that have the power to destroy somebody's life. Go. What's the third tip?
So,
the third tip.
Your kids need to understand that everything that they post or text is permanent. It's public and permanent. You know, you wouldn't give your kids a gun, but that's really what you've done when you've given them a cell phone with an HD video camera. And they can take pictures of themselves, and they can take pictures and videos of other people to post that can just destroy somebody's life.
Good. I like how you ended up. Destroy somebody's life. The third tip is you need to make your kid understand that anything they post or text should be considered permanent. Now, you wouldn't want to give your kid a gun, would you? But that's essentially what you've done when you put an HD video camera with unlimited internet access into the hands of a 13-year-old kid. You gave them a gun because they could post pictures or videos of themselves or other kids that have the power to destroy somebody's life. Go. The third tip. What's the third tip?
The third tip is you need to...
Yeah, you don't need to look there. Think about it. What's the third tip?
The third tip is you need to make your kids understand that everything they post or publish is permanent, and that you wouldn't give your kids a gun, but that's essentially what you've done when you give them a cell phone with unrestricted internet access and an HD video camera. And they can post pictures and videos of themselves or others, and those videos could destroy lives.
Even when you're talking to an audience of 1,000, that one person sitting in the chair there, he doesn't care about the other 900 people. It's about him. You're talking to one person at a time. So, you wouldn't want to give your kid a gun, would you? But that's essentially what you've done when you put an HD video camera with unlimited internet access into the hands of a 13-year-old kid, because they can post videos and pictures of themselves or other kids that have the power to destroy somebody's life. Go. Third tip.
And the third tip is your kids need to understand that everything that they post or publish is public and permanent. And you wouldn't give your kid a gun, would you? But that's essentially what you've done when you give them an HD video camera with unlimited internet access. And they can post pictures of themselves or other kids
that have
the power to destroy somebody's life. That has the power to destroy somebody's life.
10 times. That has the power to destroy somebody's life.
That has the power to destroy somebody's life.
10
that
times.
has the power to destroy somebody's life. That 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 has the power to destroy somebody's life.
Good. I honestly believe that it is part of your responsibility as the artist to prepare yourself for your opportunities. And that's what this whole media tour is all about. So that you can walk into a studio, the biggest studios in the world, and you won't feel like you're an imposter. And that transfers to anything, because if you can walk into the biggest studios in the world, you can walk into any office or boardroom or onto any stage in the world and feel like you deserve it. Unlike Alice Fredenham, who felt like she was a fake, like she was an imposter, and therefore she blows it in her next performance. Simon would have taken her and made her the next Billie Holiday, and yet, because she wasn't prepared and couldn't handle the pressure, you can see the heartbreak in his face because he knows the waste of all that talent. So let's get back to the basics.
Okay.
You ready? Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. Glug 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 glug. We need to develop more range in your voice.
So, for all of my life, I wanted to be able to sing, and I've never really been able to carry a tune in a bucket, and I've never really tried. But I've mentioned to my wife over the years that I'd like to be able to sing, and just, someday I'd like to maybe take singing lessons. Well, last week I told her that I'm ready to take singing lessons, and that's what I'd like her to give me for Christmas. So Mary's going to get me singing lessons for Christmas because I want to develop more range, I want to develop more melody, and I think it'll make me a better speaker and a better communicator. And it's just something I've always wanted to do. I've wanted to be able to sing. Clint, when you got up and sang the national anthem to a whole room at a luncheon, I wouldn't have the confidence to do that or the talent to do that yet, but I would like to get to that point one day where I can be confident in my voice and expand my range and expand the expression in my voice. And I'm going to do it through learning how to sing.
Fantastic. And what did your wife think about that?
Mary just shakes her head. She says, "I don't know you anymore."
Wow.
And that's a good thing because she's happy with the transformation and she's happy with the growth, and she can see the difference in me and the difference in how I communicate and the difference in our business and in all that I'm doing now.
How is this translating into a difference in your business?
I have better conversations with clients. I have the power of Harvard and NASDAQ in my conversations, which just changes the power totally. When I bring in award-winning speaker at Harvard, it gets attention. People are seeing my videos before I even talk to them, and they already know who I am. They already know what I'm doing, and I'm somebody they want to do business with. And it's only just the beginning. I'm really going to build much more into that. But it's powerful. It's so powerful to drop the authentic and true experience of speaking at Harvard and speaking in NASDAQ and being a guest on television shows. Makes a huge difference.
Fantastic. I didn't get into the hotel last night until 12:30, almost 1 o'clock, and I turned on the TV and there was Sex in the City on there, right? And Charlotte, the brunette, is getting married, and she's like, "Oh my God, I love my husband. I just want to do things to him that I've never done before. Like, I just want to cover my whole body with whipped cream." And Samantha goes, "Cool, low-calorie Cool Whip is the best. It's just a lot less sticky than other brands." I was always, for many, many decades, anti-TV, but the reason why you have to watch shows like Sex in the City or Frasier or Scandal or Billions or these other hit shows is that the writing is so good, it makes you a better communicator to watch and to hear and appreciate and study great writing. and great performances. So I really recommend that you watch great shows like Sex and the City and Frasier.
So watch those shows for the purpose of studying the writing and the performance, and not purely for entertainment.
Yeah, and see, this is the beauty. Like, okay, so I had a guy just sign up for Harvard, and it came through text messages. And you know what the text message was right before he signed up for Harvard? I can't stop fucking thinking about you and Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones. I am so jealous. It's driving me fucking crazy. I swear to God.
That's great.
Okay,
That
so
paid for it.
So it didn't pay for it yet.
A couple more.
Yeah, a few more of those, and it'll pay for it. But the point is that, you know, we as entertainers, which is what we are. When you're going on TV, you're an entertainer. And we as entertainers, we are required to consume entertainment for the purposes of studying the entertainment, for the purposes of appreciating good writing, good performance, color, costume, hooks, ideas, juxtaposition, counterintuition, all these things that we have to do. And in the process, we get to have fun. Like for me, going to the Rolling Stones concert was work. For me, going to London, Amsterdam, the Rolling Stones concert, being in the front row, meeting Mick Jagger, going to the VIP dinner at which we met this guy who was one of the stars of the documentary, The Queen of Versailles. Then we went to Russia. All of that was a work trip. It was all a job that I had to do. It was work that I had to do. Oh, poor me. That was my work. And that's what's available to you now. Now you need to watch TV because you need to do that for work. And in the process of that, you and your wife get to have a great experience watching TV, having fun. Here we go. The walk of stardom here. This is the Tucson Walk of Stars.
For some of us, the walk of shame.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but you know.
That's okay, I did it for you.
I got in an elevator the other day in Aspen at 1:30 in the afternoon. Some guy gets in the elevator. He goes, I woke up this morning. I had no idea where the fuck I was. It felt so good. I go, you mean you're doing the walk of shame right now? He goes, right now.
That's awesome.
It felt so good, he said.
Awesome. Come on back.
Thank you. Here we are. And there they are. There they are, the peanut butter M&Ms.
Yep.
Yay.
So I'm going to show you, someone brought me a gift yesterday. This is candy. I put it in here basically so it doesn't roll all the way. So I have I think the poop emoji is funny.
There it is.
Yep.
Dr. Pooh's gift.
In pillow form. Here's what I wore on Halloween. You can see that. That's the inflatable poop costume.
I like how you put it back in the plastic.
Well, you got to keep it clean.
Yeah,
for next year.
If the poop emoji is still popular next year. So the little toy, if you can see, it has a little Santa hat, right? I just need to fill it up. A little bit of candy here, and then I'm going to wind it. Oh, I got to close the lid. And the poop. I gotta do the poop scooping.
Showbiz, folks.
That's
showbiz.
right, it's showbiz.
From the executive producer of The Morning Blend.
Well, I have a theory about these kinds of things. You want to hear the executive producer's theory?
Oh, 100%, man. That's why I'm here.
Many people that come on this show are local guests and have never done television before. So I kind of make my office a little fun to break the ice for these folks. So whether it's my little poop toy or the M&Ms or my sound effect machines. The idea is to kind of break down people's
anxiety a little bit, and hopefully they'll be a little bit more comfortable being on television, because there's a lot of pressure for folks to come on and perform what they're going to do or talk about, or we have a lot of local businesses that are on that kind of thing. So.
What's your advice to somebody about how they can be more showbiz? You know, like to be more entertaining on television.
Well, part of it is figuring out how to just be relatable. If you're a person that has trouble when you sit down and have a conversation, you can tell that you just, what you talk about is too technical, or nobody really wants to understand what mutual funds are, and that's what really gets you excited. Is it the real simple way is, and I explain this to a lot of people who are coming on to highlight their local businesses or whatever. Or whatever the subject is figure out how to make it interesting. That's one thing that you do very well, is a lot of times you will take, I'm going to be honest, some really unexciting, on the surface anyway, unexciting subjects, and you work with people to figure out how to make them dynamic and interesting, and what you can do with what might be sometimes even a complicated or sad subject matter, and make it interesting. So that's really what it boils down to. And the other thing is that a lot of people don't know how to basically take this much information and make it this much. In other words, turn it into the elevator speech. Mm-hmm. And that's also a skill set that most people don't have. And I know you do a great job of teaching people how to do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's okay. For that whole speech, he's going to write me $1,000 check. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We'll cut that part out.
Yeah. Wait. And so when you work in radio, you have to be there's Ken Levitt goes with the other Ken liquid products that I have in my shelf here. There's the Ken's Mark. You can see there. And here we have Kentron. So I spent the first 25 years of my career working in radio, being on the air, etc. And one of the things that's really an important component of that is self-promotion, because a lot of times, it can affect the ratings of your show and whether you make extra money doing appearances and etc. So there's a financial gain for that. So because Ken is a pretty simple name, is that I tend to put it into things like Ken-chilada or Ken-tastic.
It's great.
And people seem to get a kick out of it. So I have had people, this was from an intern a few years ago who was on the show, and on his last day, he made the label change, and thanks for having me here, and this is Kentron.
Okay, so the mistake that the intern made is, where's the intern's, thanks for everything, Ken, you're the greatest, love, Joe Smith, www.joesmith.com.
That was on a card. That was on a
it
card.
should be written in magic marker on the bottle.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Right?
So when I told the story about this bottle, someone the next day dropped this off at the front desk and had taken a Sharpie and turned it into Ken's Mark.
That's awesome.
Ken Straight Bourbon, if you can see, they took the Tucky out of there.
Nice.
And when I told the story about these two, just about a month and a half ago, someone dropped this off and had taken a sticker and made it Ken Levitt.
Love
it. I have all of this. My staff asks all the time when we're going to open these. And when I basically figure out how to budget for an Uber for all of you.
Amarula. You know about that?
Actually, we did a segment about that.
Allie and I drank that when we went on a safari in Africa. That is what the elephants, these Amarula berries, grow on the trees in Africa, and the elephants eat them and get drunk off the berries, and then they make this Amarula stuff out of the elephant urine.
Oh, nice.
How fascinating.
I'm joking about that.
I'm joking hook, line, and sinker. Wait a minute.
And that's why it's still a sealed bottle.
Oh, that's really fun.
But I did learn from coming in this office so many times about why performers give away signed copies of their headshots. It's for promotion.
Sure.
And you give out, look, you do it 5 or 10 times and you get what you get. But when you've got a 20-year career and you distribute 10,000 headshots all around the world, that has an actual impact on the world. And especially when they're in visible places like in dry cleaners or in restaurants or in the offices of producers. And you know, what could be bad about having your picture on the wall of a producer's office? It's like, worst comes to worst, they're like, man, we need a guest. Who are we gonna get? Well, how about Ray Augster or whatever that guy, Ray Allen Jr. How about Ray Allen Jr.? Why don't we bring him in?
Well, that's Rex Allen Jr.
Yeah.
Rex Allen is the original singing cowboy from Wilcox, Arizona, east of here.
Yeah.
And that's his son, and he wrote the unofficial state song. What's it called? Something. I love Arizona. Something to that effect. Anyway.
How many times has he been on the show?
Probably 4 or 5. He just retired, so he came for his last tour through this area. Kind of performs 2 kinds of music: country and western.
Fantastic.
I use kind of a humor twist or attempt. I guess we'll see how actually funny it is. Humor twist to do self-promotion for myself. So whether it's, you know, silly things like that's the point I was trying to get to with the story. Silly things like that, or people remember the poop emojis and will bring me gifts, or you know, on Facebook I made a comment one day that I thought the best potato salad I ever found was at Walmart, and I have had more containers of Walmart potato salad brought as a gift here. I mean, the list goes on, but it makes you memorable. And at the end of the day, for a person working just in broadcast, is that you know, if nice things are said about me, or the guy's funny, or they even remember my name, then you know, that's a huge thing. Same reason why on this mug I have Uranus. I've made myself into a planet. But that's what is that? I get asked a lot, and I'm like, looks like Uranus to me.
Yeah, but isn't that valuable to anybody? I mean, it's not just in showbiz.
Sure, but that's a principle that a lot of times, you know, I think there's some people that you know, you end up feeling like you're sold something like a used car salesman at the end of the day, and you kind of have to figure out how to make it work where, I mean, if you're able to pull that off 24/7 and you do it in a, you know, insurance salesman kind of way, and it works for you, cool. I'd never be able to be that that intense about it, so I kind of I attempted to pick the humorous route.
Right on. All right, what's the first tip?
The first tip is, don't let your kids take their cell phones, laptops, and tablets into the bedroom. That's the first tip. Any electronic devices that have internet capabilities, don't go in the bedroom.
Why not?
Not in my house.
Why not?
Because the kids have privacy, and you know, they have unlimited internet access in their hands, and they can talk to anybody, and they can, you know, upload pictures of themselves and videos of themselves and of other kids.
Okay, what's the third tip?
The third tip is, kids need to understand that everything that they post or text or publish is public and permanent, and that they can't say anything that's going to demean themselves or anybody else. You know, you wouldn't give a kid a gun, but that's essentially what you're doing when you give your kids a HD video camera and unlimited internet access. You know, they can take pictures of themselves and pictures of other kids and upload them, and they can potentially ruin somebody's life.
Okay, great. Now, this is where you're going to learn about cheating out. Because look at all these cameras over here, and yet you're focusing on me. So, first of all, when you sit on the chair, sit on the edge of the chair, put your feet on the peg. Okay? All right, good. So that's the stance you want. Now let's do the third tip again. What's the third tip?
The third tip is that parents need to understand that everything that kids post or publish is public and permanent. You know, you wouldn't give your kids a gun, but that's really what you're doing when you give your kids an HD video camera and unlimited internet access. You know, they could upload pictures of themselves or anybody else, and potentially they could ruin somebody's life.
Okay, so here's your opportunity to learn about cheating out. So here's how I would say it. So the third tip is, you need to make your kids understand that anything that they text or post on the internet is permanent and public. Now, you wouldn't want to give your kid a gun, right? Look at me. Now, you wouldn't want to give your kid a gun, but that's essentially what you're doing when you put an HD video camera in your kid's hand and give them unlimited internet access to publish anything they want on the internet. They could be posting pictures and videos of themselves or of other kids that have the power to ruin somebody's life.
So Just not looking at a camera, just looking
Yeah,
out.
just occasionally looking out. Don't feel like you have to only talk to the host.
Then bring it back at the end.
Yeah, or back and forth. You just don't want to be going like this.
Right.
All right? But my point is that you don't have to be looking straight at the host like this. Okay? You have the license. Like, you need to learn how to use cameras, and you have the license to use the whole studio as if you're speaking to an audience. Okay?
Okay.
All right, great. What's the third tip?
So the third tip is parents need to understand that everything that their kids post and publish, it's public and permanent. You know, you wouldn't give your kids a gun, but that's essentially what you're doing when you give them a HD camera and full internet access. You know, they can post pictures of themselves and pictures of other kids. And you know, that could really ruin somebody's life.
Good. Very good.
What's up?
Where's the book, Manny? Seriously. So you see nice girl hands right there for these two nice girls.
All love them. And so when we come in, now if somebody has not been there, this is, you can't miss it. Look how colorful just the building is, right? But when you come in, there's the big case, and you look at it, and there is just, oh, look right here. This is what the case looks like, but it's just donut after donut. Do you guys kind of go into like a big conference room and decide what's your new flavor? I feel like it's probably like Mad Science Day, right?
Kind of. It's like we all make it and we try it on like either a round or just a glaze or a dry donut, and we.
So how do I set that
So
up?
now you see why you should not say yes and agree with hosts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you see nice girl hands, like it's so in evidence. We're not here to be nice. We're here to make an impact.
Monday through Thursday. Okay. Do I have to be a kid, or can I be young at heart and still come in? Because I want to come make donuts.
I think there is an age limit, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, I'll slide right in there, right?
You
But
can go.
I had no idea that you guys did this, and I want to reiterate this from the beginning. You guys are open 24 hours a day.
24/7, yes.
So when I'm hungry at like 2 a.m. and I've got a hankering for your cheesecake donut, I can come and get it?
Our whole case will be full for you. And I'll be waiting for you guys.
Waiting for you guys. I love this. The Elvis donut and the peppermint bark. So we could go and get this today if we wanted them?
Yes.
They're both-
Anytime, any hour.
Any hour, and this one's a super popular, and I see definitely why.
All of our bacon ones.
Oh, you guys have more of the bacon. I've
We
had
have 4
several.
bacon donuts.
You guys, 4 bacon donuts. Do I have to say anything else? You ladies did a fabulous job. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in
you
today.
for having us.
Awesome. All right, guys, you have to try the donuts that were actually voted best in town. Amy's Donuts open 24 hours a day. They're located at 101 East Fort Lowell Road. And for more information, call 520-647-2481 or visit amysdonuts.com. Now, a box of donuts helps kind of in surviving the crazy time this time of year, but here are some more helpful tips for that.
Has the current holiday
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yay!
You guys are so cute.
Great job. You have fun?
Yes.
Is it fun to be on TV?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
I had no idea you guys did
Yeah,
the,
we have field trips.
Is this always have you done that?
Have a seat on the chair.
Yes, sir.
Tuck your tie into your pants like this.
I'm just gonna check your connection, and if you want to count to 10, that'd be awesome.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Where did
It's stuck in my pocket.
There it is. Sometimes they put it behind you.
Ladies, rockstar, you guys did awesome.
Is it fine?
I think you and I need to talk after we're done about this.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I have an idea.
It's got tape on it, dude. It's not moving. Do I need to switch out Mike?
Give him mine.
Okay.
Okay, is that mic working now?
Is it good?
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's fine.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Thank you. Just a little quick mic check. Yeah, if you want to. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Tina, I'm gonna put this over here for this,
Okay.
and then we'll swap it out now for this one. I just want to make it more.
I'm gonna go get.
I got one. I already got one.
No,
13.
13 on standby.
There you go. That little cord from sneaking out of there.
Thank you, Tina.
You're welcome. All right. How much do I have for this? Can I make this? All right, 3.5 minutes for the interview, so you can engage it on the inside.
That's all I've got.
That you're like, I could do this all day.
That's perfect timing.
Is that good timing? 3.5?
30 seconds.
Yay. Okay. Perfect. When I ask for the first tip, Tom, are you just going to do one tip at that time?
I can run through all 5 of them.
You want to just hit them? Perfect. Second question, Matt. He's going to get into that. The full screen. Second question, yeah.
Bye.
Bye, girls.
Stand by the open.
Welcome back. Now, predators on the internet, it's a reality for everyone nowadays, and for parents even more so. That is why Tom Mack is joining me now to give us some tools to keep our kids safe. Tom, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, Tina, thank you so much for having me. It's a real honor to be here. So my wife and I, we have 8 children, 2 that we adopted from an orphanage in Ukraine. And, you know, we really empathize with Prince William and Princess Kate's struggle to limit Prince George's screen time because that's a real struggle today.
Yeah.
I teach parents how to protect their kids from online predators, cyberbullies, and internet addictions. And you know, the first most important tip is don't let your kids take their cell phones, laptops, and tablets into the bedroom. I mean, that's tip number 1. Anything that has internet capabilities doesn't go in the bedroom. No, not in my house. Yeah. It's way too easy for kids to hide who they're talking to and what they're looking at. Plus, you know, those devices, they bing, ding, and buzz all night long, keeping your kids awake. And then our second tip is those devices, they sleep in the kitchen. The kids, they don't have chargers in their bedrooms. Not in my house. Those chargers are in the kitchen, and kids need to plug in their devices and put them to sleep by 10 o'clock on school nights and 11 o'clock on non-school nights. You know, younger, earlier for younger kids. Third tip, parents need to teach their kids that everything that they post and publish, that's public, that's permanent. Look, you wouldn't give your kid a gun, but that's really what you're doing when you give them a HD camera and unlimited internet access. You know, they can take pictures and videos of themselves and other kids, and that could really potentially ruin somebody's life.
Yeah.
You know, tip number 4, the kids, they can't post, they can't
Communicate.
Communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. You know, somebody may say that they're a friend of your friend or they know somebody's friend. If they don't know that person face to face, they may not text, chat, or email, communicate with them, period. And our 5th tip is that they need to sign a written agreement. So the parents have the kids sign a written agreement, agreeing to the previous 4 tips. Look, if the kids don't want to agree by the rules that the parents set, that's fine. They don't get a phone.
Yeah.
If you don't sign the agreement, you don't get a phone. Not in my house. The kids will sign. They'll agree, and then they'll need to uphold that agreement. Because if they don't, they're going to fall prey to destruction. Because kids and privacy and the internet, that's just destruction. Yeah. But when you have openness and they have limits on their technology, you can have success in your house and beat the online predators, cyberbullies, and internet addictions.
And I know you keep saying not in my house, which is very literal because you have, of course, a passion with your own 8 children, but it's also the name of your book.
It is. The book's called Not in My House, and we teach parents how to protect their children.
And so this book kind of goes through the 5 tips we were talking about, but more in depth.
Absolutely. More in depth. And, you know, it's a parent's responsibility to protect their kids.
And I know nowadays I think parents think all the kids are doing it, but in your house you have to set limits. You have to set things that are going to be in the long run good for them.
Absolutely. It's your responsibility to keep your kids safe.
Absolutely. Well, this is another reason why we should get the book, Tom, and I'm going to remind them how to get the book. But thank you so much for all these great reminders.
Thank you.
This has been wonderful. To learn more about Tom or his book, Not in My House, please visit tommack.tv. Now, something good that does come from the internet are all your holiday gifts. Here's Alex with some techie ideas.
If you're looking for
perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Jennifer Jolly is here with some incredible ideas. Jennifer,
How do you feel?
Good.
I'll go ahead and take it away from me. Thank you so much.
I mean, we could try this.
So, was it good to have Clint in the studio with you today?
Absolutely. You know, it's a crutch. It's a crutch. I shouldn't be using crutches. I know Clint's there.
hey man, we're here. Look.
That's how you learn.
One show is irrelevant.
Yep.
What we're here to do is create assets, video assets that we can use to enhance everything that you're trying to do. That's it. So I'm here to help you to get the best result you possibly can. I gave you one word in the middle. Did you hear it? Yep.
I heard you.
Yep. Good. One word. Good. Great job, man.
Thanks.
You know, you led the segment. That's what you got to do. Especially when you only have 3 minutes.
Right. Keep on going.
Yep. Great job. Really.
Having my.
All right, it's on. Now you can do it. All right.
So now I can do
Yes.
the bunny.
Yeah. Now you can do the bunny.
Yeah.
Hey, is it okay if I move this chair a little bit?
Where do you want to put it?
I'm joking.
Oh, all right.
I teach my clients.
Like if you want to take it out.
I teach my students like never move the chair.
We're not that hardcore.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of studios that are union. When I was with Sandy Missouri at the Today Show, they said, okay, bring the balloons to the stage door, and then you're not allowed to touch the balloons again until you leave the studio. Because this is a union studio, and props must be handled by stagehands.
That's union. That's different.
We're onion. Kind of close.
We're onion.
First thing you should never
They
say,
are
we're doing
very-
never, right?
they're
First thing you
very
should never
stickler
say
about that.
is, let me think about it. Don't think about stuff, make decisions. Decisive people make more money. Rich people, they go in a restaurant, they read the menu, boom, they know what they want to order. So make decisions and say yes. The second thing you should never say is, you should think about it. Don't encourage people to think about stuff. Encourage people to say yes. That's how you get the money. The third thing you should never say is, I wish I coulda, woulda, shoulda. Don't have regrets. Just do what you do. Take action. And then learn the lesson. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you break even. But everything has a lesson, and there's no sense in having regrets about what you coulda, shoulda, woulda done. Fourth thing you should never say is, let me give you a discount.
Holiday shopping season is in full swing, and we all know how easy it is to get overwhelmed this time of year. It's a good thing we have TV host and mom Erica Vetrini joining us with a few mommy certified gifting tips. Erica, thanks so much for being with us.
You do well, but that's the only.
Gina, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about this gift guide. I'll partner with some
So
great
I would at
companies.
least
We've
feel
got
like I
employees,
accomplished something
technology, and some really great deals as well.
At some point in the day.
As a matter of fact, the other day, just like yesterday or the day before, I was at a seminar and the guy said, the most successful people fail the most. Because you can't win everything. You have to fail more in order to win more.
Well, I would also think that means that you are taking more risks.
You're taking action.
Taking action?
Yeah.
And if you don't take any action,
just more risks in general. You're willing to stick your neck out knowing that you might fail, but at the same time you might succeed. And at the end of the day, you're going to end up making more progress.
That's right. You have to fail a lot in order to win a lot.
That's a good philosophy.
Think about Babe Ruth. One of the highest strikeout numbers in the history of baseball, but one of the highest home run numbers in the history of baseball. You gotta be able to strike out if you're gonna win.
And I heard it was fun party.
Ah! That's really the most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah, tech. A lot of these have tech elements too, for sure. This next one as well.
I'm standing in front of you.
You know, story time and bedtime stories.
So,
are the ones that are so magical both for parent and for child. This next gift, let's go to the second gift. It takes it to another level. It takes story time to the next level. Makes it even more magical. It's called Moonlight.
Maybe you use one of these, well, then I guess I'll get up and dance for the other two.
No, I'll take them all. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
No, we were thinking that it was going to come in a little shallow. Yeah, no, it track along with
Download the free app and you can read the story straight from your smartphone. Really cool. It's got, additionally, it's got these sound effects that go along with the story to make
Project
it
the images on the ceiling. That's freaking
that you
genius.
can find only at Target. So that's another techie but really sweet.
That's awesome.
We've done a lot of these
And I feel like that also
holiday
kind of
type
stirs the
gifts.
children's like imagination, which I think is also
You remember the first segment I came in here for was 3 New Year's resolutions you never should have made in the first place. Oh no, it was 3 New Year's resolutions you should never make. And it was the Oprah, the Charlie Sheen, and Lindsay Lohan. And she, where did she go? She goes, can you sing that last one? And I was like,
is that
Free from nicotine. That photo of me doing that you gave me is in my system. That photo.
This has been probably the most tech-heavy set of gifts. So, I mean, we do a lot of these, gift idea type of things because it's
just like a real baby. She's during playtime she'll recite animals and all that good stuff. So that's
everything has technology.
I want to move on to one more before we go. I want to introduce you to Chuck, and it's this little yellow button right here. It looks like a regular button, but it's not. It's actually a Bluetooth speaker that is controlled by a smartphone. And what you do is you attach it to your child's favorite stuffed animal or lovey, and you can now, it brings the stuffed animal to life through a speaker that you can kind of control. So it has about more than 1,000 pre-recorded phrases, 20 songs.
So where is this girl who's doing this segment? New York. She's in New York. Who does she work for? Morning Blend Corporation?
No. There are approximately.
You know how you usually have to, you have to be able to show your child nap time, bedtime, eat. They can set reminders on Chapman, and instead their favorite stuffed animal will remind them it's time to go to sleep, it's time to eat, it's time to wake up. And who wouldn't want your favorite stuffed animal to gently remind you to do these wonderful things? Much better than here at Fair. This one is only available on Amazon. It's $54.99.
I was gonna say, is there a place we can go online to get all this info again?
And then they buy the time from us.
For sure. You can go to my website, TV, Katrina.com, click on the blog post, and then all the information will be right there.
Awesome, you always have the best list for us. Thank you so much, Eric.
It's a
Thank you, Tina. Happy holidays. You too. We'll be right back.
So you ever do Skype interviews? You ever do Skype interviews?
Yeah.
Why not?
Quality.
Carrot juice.
What's wrong with the quality? It's not HD?
Not HD and too pixelated.
Too pixelated.
And not reliable enough. We almost do unless there's an extenuating circumstance in the news department, they don't do Skype.
Okay.
Basically, we can't get a signal through the other system we use, which is live view, which is triangulation.
I like that song.
I mean, I was on
Can we get a quick mic check,
Skynet.
Clint?
What was I on?
Can you count to 10, please?
10, 9, 8, 6, 4, 3, 9, 7, 8, 4. Good?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Good? Yeah.
That's the kind of math that I like.
Yeah.
Have a great segment.
I was on Sky News by Skype.
Okay. We just don't do them because the quality's been not strong enough to do this where it looks like the rest of the television.
If I could give you a great image, like by doing it on an HD broadcast from my own studio, could you do that?
Possibly. I have to see it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So I'm gonna set you up.
All right.
And you're gonna fly.
I'm gonna fly,
that
baby.
Sounds good to me. So first question will be, why'd you write the book?
Yes.
We'll go from there.
Yes.
How about that?
And then you got 5 things.
Got 5 things. We'll knock them out.
And do you want me to interject, or you just want to knock them out?
No.
If you'd like.
No yawning.
Just knock them out. I think if you practice that way, go for it.
All right.
Righty.
What's this about not asking for a discount?
Don't forget your time card.
Don't ever ask for a discount. Don't waste your time asking for a discount. Focus on making money, not trying to save
Yeah.
money. You'll make a lot more money than you'll ever save.
Ken, did you put the mic on?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry.
So I think we have about, how long do we have, Ben?
3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm psyched to be doing a segment with you. Have I done one?
Never
with you?
done
I don't
one
think
together.
so.
I know that you were on years ago, the first time you ever did one of these, making the Elvis pancakes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the OG
30.
Clint Arthur segment. And here we are.
I had been on like twice before that, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
With sort of the same idea?
I did another one with Lady Gaga pancakes. Yes, I did Lady Gaga pancakes. And then I did a New Year's resolution segment. And then I was on with remember when the woman was the executive producer of this show?
Yes.
I was on with her first.
5 seconds.
It's like my 6th time.
One.
If you're unhappy with the amount of money you're bringing home each month, get ready to take action because Clint Arthur, author of Speaking Game, is here with some advice. Clint, thanks so much for joining us.
What a great honor to be here in the studio with you today. Really, so happy to be with you.
Pleasure to see you. So let's talk about this book. Why'd you write it?
I found out from a founding member of the National Speakers Association that I make more money as a speaker than 99% of all the speakers in America. So I wrote this book to help people make more money, have more fun, overcome any fear of public speaking, and become the confident, charismatic person they always wanted to be.
Well, and there's 5 things you say you should never say if you want to make more money.
If you want to make more money, the first thing you should never say is, give me a discount, okay? Never say, I want a discount, because if you ask for a discount, that is a waste of your time. You'll make a lot more money if you just focus on making money than trying to save money.
Yeah.
The second thing you should never say if you want to make more money is, let me give you a discount. People who make lots of money, they don't discount what they do. They get paid a lot of money for what they do, and they're happy to get it. It's better for the person who's buying if you charge them a lot of money and make them pay full price, because they feel like they have more value from whatever they have bought.
Right.
The third thing you should never say if you want to make more money is, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. Don't have regrets in life. There are times when you're going to win. There's times when you're going to lose. And there's times when you're going to just break even. So don't have any regrets. Just learn the lessons from what you do and move on with your life, and take everything as a learning experience.
Right.
And the fourth thing you should never say if you want to make more money is, what's the fourth thing?
Well, you know, like you were saying, you have to kind of let the money flow through you, right? The fact is, you're going to have money coming in, you're going to have money going out. And that's the idea, right?
You always want to have money coming in and out. The fourth thing you should never say is, hey, I want you to think about it and decide and take your time. Don't encourage prospects to think about it. When you're trying to sell something or get money from something, ask the person to make a decision. So don't ask them to think about it, ask them to say yes.
Yes.
That's how you're going to get more money. And then the fifth thing you should never say if you want to make more money is, let me think about it. Don't think about stuff. Hey, decisive people make more money than indecisive people. So if you go into a restaurant with a rich person, they're going to look at the menu, and in 30 seconds they're going to know what they want. Right? Because decisive people make more money, take action, say yes, make decisions, and you too can make more money.
And one of the best decisions you can make is to get this book, right? How can people do it?
www.amazon.com.
There you go. Search for Clint Arthur, Speaking Game. Sir, nice to see you.
Great to be here.
Pleasure to have you. Now, Speaking Game by Clint Arthur is available now. To learn more about his book or anything else we just discussed, just visit clintarthur.tv. Now that we learned how to make more money, let's find out what to spend it on.
Okay, guys, our shopping
Clear.
deals are
Perfect.
You got it. You did it. The people on your list.
I barely did it. Man, Jesus, you see that?
You
I can grab the mic from your one shot.
Yeah, sure.
Thank
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hey. Look, I don't know why I was just spacing on my talking points today, but that's what you do. You just keep going. I don't know, I don't know if anyone's gonna know I made a mistake, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna cut it apart and put it in a sizzle reel.
Sure.
And that's what it's all about. But I just did the whole thing backwards. Thanks for not putting in the talking points. I'm like looking for the talking points on a monitor.
I guess we could have. All right. That's a producing whiff on my part if that needed to be in there.
No, it didn't need to be there, but whatever.
All right.
Did I look like I was fear-stricken or anything?
No?
No?
No, I didn't see the color drain from your face.
Oh my God, I'm sitting there like, what's the first fucking thing? Jesus. Had to find them. Wow. Yeah. Go with the flow and no one's the wiser. Thank you for your help, man.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Nice to see you.
Hey, I'm Clint Arthur, best-selling author of the new book, Speaking Game. And I wrote this book because becoming a speaker for me has been the best, most powerful thing I've ever done in my life. And it has given me 3 things that I think everybody should have. And this is what I really believe are the keys to having a fun and successful life. Number 1, freedom. Freedom to do what you want, and freedom to do it when you want it, with who you want to do it with, or without people you don't want to do it with. You need to have total freedom in your life. And when you have freedom to express yourself and the power to express yourself in free ways, you have the best kind of life that you could ever have. And freedom is what my life is really all about. The second thing that I love so much about life and that I want everyone to get out of the speaking game and out of every time you speak is power. Power to express yourself in a way that is communicating what you want to communicate and in a way that motivates people to do what you want them to do, or change the world the way you want to change the world. If you have power in your voice and in your presentation and in your communication, you will see a whole different result in your life, and the whole world will really open up to you. And the third thing that I love so much about my life and about being a speaker, and what I want for everyone who reads the speaking game, is adventure. I love adventure. Oh my God, when I go on my book tour to promote the book around the country, when I go on television shows, when I go on stages around the world, the adventure of that whole experience is something that really gives me a charge. I leave my house and I go out into the world, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do know that it's going to be an adventure. And that sense of adventure is what I think makes life fun and keeps me young and adds a whole dimension to my life and to my relationship with my wife and with my family, with my friends. The sense of adventure that you get from being able to speak and go and say things. And here's a really subtle point. Sometimes when you speak, you're going into territories where you don't know what's gonna happen. So for example, one time I was sitting in the living room of my house and my parents got into this huge argument and my dad stormed out of the house. I turned to my mom. I was 26 years old. I said, you know, Mom, the way he resents you all these years, have you been cheating on Dad? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I can't believe I just asked my mother a question like that. See, that question was the beginning of an adventure. I didn't even know it was coming. I wasn't expecting to have it happen. But that was the beginning of an adventure, because as I continued to sit there, I thought to myself, why isn't she answering the question? And then she said, he's not your real father. Your real father was a doctor at the fertility clinic we were going to for 6 years, and you look just like him. See the adventure that I opened up just by asking a question, using my words, speaking? Speaking created a whole new adventure in my life. And I look back over the years, you know, I just did today my 88th television appearance. It was on my good friend Ken Carr's show here at the Morning Blend in Tucson. And yesterday I was in Vegas, did an appearance there. Tomorrow I'll be in Phoenix doing an appearance there. I'll be in LA soon doing an appearance there on this same topic, the speaking game. And all of this, I look back on it and I think, why have I been so driven? What's it all about? Well, I've been really, on a subconscious level, hoping that somehow my real father might see me. Maybe Daddy would love me. And that hasn't happened yet, but maybe one day. And I'll tell you, the thing that has helped me most to heal this wound has been the times that I've been on big shows like the Today Show or Fox Business Channel or CNN or Sky News or even today on the Morning Blend in Tucson. The times when I've had the privilege to be on television and share my message have been the times when I really feel the closest to healing that wound, because I get to make my individual mark on the world. And the other times have been the times when my friends, many of whom start out as clients and then become friends as part of my celebrity entrepreneur community, when my friends have had their moment in the spotlight, their opportunity to shine and make their unique difference on Good Morning America, The Today Show, Dr. Oz. I got one friend, Dr. Kellyanne, who's on Dr. Oz all the time. And when my friends get to make their difference and their unique impact, that really is healing for me. Because I get text messages all the time that say, this is my dream, Clint. I'm really living my dream. And that's what I want for everybody. That's when you have freedom and power and adventure, you get to live your dream. And that's all part of what you get when you work on being a better speaker. So check out Speaking Game by Clint Arthur. You can get it on Amazon or really on any bookstore. And when you get the book, go to speakinggame.com for extra bonus free videos that will help you to become a better speaker. Because this is all about a couple of really important things. Making more money, having more fun, breaking any kind of fear that you may have of public speaking. If you've got any fear of public speaking at all, we handle that, boom, right in the beginning of the speaking game. And then ultimately, what it's really all about is you becoming the confident and charismatic person that you've always dreamed of being. And that's what you get when you can express yourself and speak with confidence and power, and in a way that gives you freedom, power, and adventure. I'm Clint Arthur. The book is The Speaking Game, and it's all about helping you to have the freedom, power, and adventure to take your life where you want to go.
How much media moments tend to impact people's lives? I mean, back in being on the radio, I can tell you often somebody would call up, make a request for a song, the station I was working on. So you put the caller on, it's like, you know, the biggest day I've ever had in my life is when I called up and requested Britney Spears. I'm like, really? That's the biggest day? But because this is an automatic for me to do all the time, I don't think a whole lot about that. You fast forward to the last 6 years I've been managing this show, and every day somebody comes on. I mean, we had Amy's Donuts on today, besides you and Tom as guests, and those two ladies had never been on television. And there probably was a puddle back there from, you know, but because we do this as part of our everyday business, making the TV shows, that sometimes I forget, just, you know, I have to remind the hosts all the time because we're busy in the minutia of work, that there are viewers. In other words, people will, you know, will call and respond to the messages that are on TV, and, you know, and that is the reason that all of this is done, is because people enjoy the show and learn from what we do, and et cetera, et cetera. But we're so busy here in the studio just trying to, you know, keep the balls in the air, I guess, for an hour every day.
Yep.
That it's easy to forget that how much all of this means to everybody who, you know, who does television.
The little girl who made the peppermint bark donut, she was telling us before the show that for the past 4 days, she's been saying, my new book is going to be called I Want to Be Famous.
That's awesome. She'll probably be coached by Clint Arthur one day.
If she's lucky, if she's smart.
If she's lucky,
she'll
yes.
find a way there. Yep.
That's a lot of times you end up needing that extra help to understand how to do it.
It's hard if you don't have a coach. It really is, because you have to see everything. You have to be your own director and producer if you don't have a coach. And that's my hardest part, is I don't have a coach. I only have myself. I don't know anyone who could be my coach on this topic, because there's one person who I want as my coach. You ever watch Fox Business Channel, Mornings with Maria?
Yes.
Okay, the blonde lady who's always on that show, her name is Lee Carter. She's the president of a communications company in New York City. And both times I've been on that show, she was in the chair over there. And she's just so awesome. I would love for her to be my mentor. You hear that, Lee Carter? I really would love for you to be my mentor.
Come on, Lee Carter. Quit being lame. Pick up the phone. Dial now. Numbers on your screen.
Let me take you to lunch, Lee. Please, let me become a client, okay? Really. All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up here in Tucson. And I hope everybody had fun in the studios of the Morning Blend with Tom Mack and Ken Carr and myself. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on television. Here we are outside the Morning Blend. There it is. And what's your big takeaway, Tom?
Wow. So just the experience of being on, the live show, because the first show I did were recorded.
Oh.
The orchestration of the entire show with all the guests, that was my first experience with that, and just really being well rehearsed and being on and being present in the moment. It was a great experience. It's been an evolution. the first one was okay, the second one was better, this one was better.
This was very good.
And as I continue to learn and as I continue to grow, they'll just get better and better and better. And that's exciting to have better and better in my future.
Okay, how about watching other guests in studio? You got to see those girls, and then you got to see me. What did you learn from that experience?
Well, watching the girls, they had no training at all. And, they were there with their good girl hands and not really interacting well. But they didn't know. They didn't know what to do. Watching you was great. Just being comfortable and being confident and just letting the words roll off. Even when you didn't know what you were going to say next, it just rolled, and it was smooth, and it was beautiful.
I was so fucked in that segment. I could not think of the first two things to say. So I had to reverse the whole thing. I started with my fifth talking point, my fourth, my third, and I was hoping by the time I got to 2 and 1, I would remember, and I still couldn't remember what they were.
It could have been the same point over and over 5 times. It might have been the same point over and over 5 times. It doesn't matter. You did great.
Oh, thank you.
It looked, it was smooth. It looked great.
Well, I think this was a valuable learning experience for you to watch even me fuck up a segment that I've done multiple times now. And I was having problems remembering those first two all morning long. And I was rehearsing you instead of rehearsing me, so I was at a little bit of a disadvantage. But be that as it may,
but being the professional you are, you just rolled with it and it worked.
There's no choice. You got to just keep going.
No matter what happens,
keep going.
Don't stop.
Yeah. All right, more fun to come. We're gonna have a road trip, and we'll be in Phoenix, Arizona later on. All right, in Phoenix now, the Odyssey continues with Tom Mack. Look at it. We're getting ready. This is what I'm talking about, okay? This is commitment to becoming a better entrepreneur and taking your celebrity to the level where you need it to be. Look at it out there. It's freaking nighttime still. And we're up cranking
it out.
Talking about how to communicate. That's what we're here. We're talking about how to communicate. So we're talking about the difference between parents having to do something and you having to do something. Now, yesterday we made videos out at the boneyard, the aircraft boneyard. How did yours turn out?
Mine turned out really good.
Yeah? Okay, I'm loving mine too. And I'm telling you, the real key distinction of communication is to, no matter who you're talking to, no matter how many people are in the audience, for you to always be talking personally to one person. So everything you say has to be about you.
You, your kid, your child, one person.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what was so great about my video in the aircraft boneyard. This is gonna be the best behind the scenes video of all time. I'm gonna include that aircraft boneyard. So let's go to the aircraft boneyard right now. Hey everybody, this is Clint Arthur, best-selling author of the new book, The Speaking Game. And I'm out here at the aircraft graveyard. Look at these planes. Rusting hulks of scrap metal being stripped for parts. Just out here in the middle of nowhere. Vogel Airlines. Whoever even heard of Vogel Airlines? Look at this one. Everything painted out, closed up. Engines gone. Stripped. Look at those empty hulks where the engines used to be, where the power used to be. Look at those white planes out there. Nothing. Just nothing. Empty hulks. And I came out here for a reason. I wanted to check this out because I've always heard about the aircraft boneyard, but I never got to see it. Here comes a car. It's pretty amazing. I mean, if you think about how much money this plane used to be worth. a whole industry of vultures trying to strip them down, extract the value, the tires, metal. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you about this is because if you're an author, a speaker, a coach, an entrepreneur, any kind of person who is responsible for your own bottom line, doing business, making sure you have sales, making sure you don't become obsolete, this is a cautionary tale for you guys. Because you don't want to end up in the scrapyard. You don't want to be on the boneyard of dead entrepreneurial ideas and companies just out there getting scrapped, having your cameras and equipment and facilities, studios, factories stripped down and sold for parts like this. What's going on here? You need to have all the competitive advantage you could possibly have. You need to stay ahead of your competition. So you don't end up like one of these rusted out old hulks. And that's really what the speaking game is all about, because if you're anybody who makes money by talking to people, by speaking about what you do, by helping people, you need to have the most advantage that you can possibly have so that you can close as many sales and succeed. I tell you what, I have been an entrepreneur for a long time, and there is nothing worse than having an entrepreneurial venture just fade away because of lack of sales, lack of conversion. Is nothing worse. And you need every weapon you can have. And your most valuable weapon as an entrepreneur, your mouth, your tongue, your lips. That's what helps you sell. You need to be able to talk a good game so you can get people to give you their credit cards, give you their checks, give you their cash. So you could stay in business, so you can keep flying, so you don't end up like Vogel Air. You want to keep your birds in the air. You don't want them out on the scrap heap. And on top of that, another reason why these things are out here on the scrap heap is because they're outdated technology. You need to keep your technology as up to date as possible. You need to keep your technology that's keeping you in business on the cutting edge. And I'm telling you, that's what the speaking game is all about. The speaking game gives you a way to have more fun every time you talk. The speaking game gives you a way to keep score and play and be more entertaining every time you talk. And if you're more entertaining, if you keep your audience more engaged, then you will be able to get your message into their minds more directly, more quickly, more powerfully. And as a result, by putting that message more effectively into the minds of your customers and prospects, you'll be able to sell more effectively. And that is going to give you the advantage. So if you don't want to end up in the boneyards, if you want to stay ahead of the pack technologically and in every other way using the technology of your speaking, please go check out speakinggame.com and the book Speaking Game at Amazon.com and anywhere you can buy books, it's available. I'm Clint Arthur. Check me out, clintarthur.tv. It's radical, man, but stay out of the boneyards. Speaking Game. So if you want to stay out of the boneyards, if you want to stay more powerful and relevant and have unique positioning that propels you to the head of your marketplace, go to clintarthur.tv. so that you can become a celebrity entrepreneur instead of just a dead carcass on the entrepreneurial graveyard. ClintArthur.tv.
That was just a really good opportunity. Don't pass up an opportunity to do something really cool.
Yeah, and when you do go someplace really cool and you find yourself in an interesting environment, situation, something different from the ordinary, shoot a freaking video with your iPhone.
Build great assets.
Yeah, make a marketing video out of it. All right, so what happens if they break the contract?
So if they break the contract, you break their phone. So what I did with one of my kids is I took their phone and with a drill, I drilled through the phone into the door frame of their door so that the phone was destroyed, but they couldn't close their bedroom door anymore.
Okay, let me redo that for you.
All right.
Okay, so if they break the contract, it's very simple. You break their phone. When one of my kids broke the contract, I took their phone, I got a screw and a drill, and I drilled the screw right through the phone into the door frame of their bedroom so that not only was the phone destroyed, and not only did they have to see the phone every single time they walked by the door frame, but they couldn't even close the door to their bedroom anymore because they violated that rule. See, you need to say shit like that because I'm reminded of what Kingsley Smith said. The vice president of news at Fox Los Angeles, when we had a woman, she had 4 kidneys, 2 dead kidneys, a third one that was dead that had been donated to her, and a 4th one that was alive. And he goes, do you have images of that, like x-rays? And she goes, yeah, I do, of course. He goes, wow, nobody's ever seen anything like that before. So nobody's ever heard anything like this before, like drilling this phone into the door frame. That's fucking radical, man. And that's what they want on TV. That's what they want. This is why the Kardashians show is so popular, because nobody's ever been inside the lives of a whole rich modeling family like that before. And that's why we want to see it.
It's just outrageous.
It's something no one's ever seen before. That's why Honey Boo Boo was so successful, because no one had ever seen anything like that before. That's why Alaska Bush Family. Have you seen that one?
No.
Ugh, fantastic. These people, they live in the Alaska bush, you know? It's like, that's what people want. They want to see stuff they've never seen before. And you talking about this phone, is it still on the wall?
Oh, no. That was 30 days.
30 days? I think you should put it back up on the wall and take a picture of it, and now you got it for B-roll. Recreate it.
I've got a picture of it.
You got a picture of it?
Back from back then, sure.
Fuck yeah,
but
man.
But if not, we can recreate it if we need to.
Hey, man, you have the photo of it. That is B-roll. That's exclusive B-roll imagery of my kid's phone drilled into the door frame when they broke the contract. It's fucking awesome.
All right. Not allowed. Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed.
Not your kid. Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to text, email, or chat with anybody that they don't know face to face. Go. Go.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed.
Your kid.
Your kid. Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to text, email, chat, or communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face.
I want you to have more fun saying is not allowed. Your kid is not allowed. Here you are making rules for other people's kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's fun. Get off on the power. Rule number 4.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed.
Your kid.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed.
Is not allowed. Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to text, chat, email with anybody they don't know face to face. Isn't that a good rule?
That should be rule number 1.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
Don't talk to strangers. That's what my mom
He's going to go talk about this on the news on CW3 at 7:15 a.m. That was awesome. You get it?
Yep.
I mean, you get it? I mean, people want to hear this, Tom.
Yeah.
They want permission to make these kinds of fucking rules for their kids because these fucking kids are out of control. This way. It's still fucking dark out. Can you believe it? Jesus. Rule number 4.
Rule number 4, this is a left turn.
place is very counterintuitive.
A kid is not allowed to communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. So no chat, no text, no.
Hey, good morning. It's Tom Mack and Clint Arthur.
Okay, and you guys go to the left door handle. I'll open the door for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Not be talking to anybody outside the family. After 10 o'clock at night, your kid should not be talking to anybody outside the family. After 10 o'clock at night, your kid should not be talking to anybody outside the family. Not in my house.
Good.
After 10 o'clock at night, your kid should not be talking to anybody outside the family.
Rule number 3.
Not in my house.
Rule number 3.
Rule number 3. You need to make your kids understand that everything that they...
Your kid.
You need to make your kid understand that everything that they text, chat, and publish is public and permanent. Look, you wouldn't give your kid a loaded gun, but that's essentially what you're doing when you give them an HD video camera and unrestricted internet access. Look, they can post pictures of themselves and videos and pictures of other kids that have the potential to destroy somebody's life.
Good. Number 4.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. Rule number 4, your kid
They don't know face to face.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face.
Go on.
I'm on my way. Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. I mean, somebody may text them and say, hey, can we chat? And say, no, if you don't know that person face to face, you are not allowed to communicate with them, period. Not in my house.
Bigger.
Not in my house.
Bigger.
Not in my house.
Not in my house.
Not in my house.
Both hands. Bigger.
Not in my house.
Good. I'm telling you, the bigger you go, the happier you're going to be.
Yeah. Not in my house.
Bigger, louder.
So, am I worried about
I don't
mic or
care,
anything?
no.
Not in my house.
Good.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed. Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. Look, somebody may say they're a friend of a friend. No. If you don't know them face to face, you may not communicate with them, period.
You may not?
You are not allowed to communicate with them, period. Not in my house.
Number 5.
Rule number 5, before you buy your kids a cell phone, or before you renew their cell phone plan, they need to sign a written agreement agreeing to the previous 4 rules. If they don't want to play by the rules that you've set, that's okay. They don't get.
Grab you some water real quick?
I'm good.
How about you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
So in this case, 2 feet on the floor, 1 foot up. What's comfy?
What I like the pegs. I think you should be like this.
Both feet up?
Yeah. Because that makes you look most like you're ready to go.
I can sit up straight with 2 feet up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got the tie tucked into your pants?
You know what? I didn't tie it quite long enough for that.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's perfect then. Sit on the back of your jacket. Pull it down. There you go.
All right.
See how it's bigger? Like, a lot of shit going on here.
Your kid is not allowed to take their cell phone, laptop, or tablet into their bedroom. Look, behind closed doors, you don't know who they're talking to or what they're looking at, and they can just get into all kinds of trouble on the internet. So, rule number 1 is kids may not take their internet browsing devices into the bedroom. Period.
Killer sunrise this morning. Just
Hey, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Rule number 2?
Take a look at these temperatures. We are tracking a lot of valley communities in the 40s this morning. If you're coming down to Gilbert for the holiday art walk, when they open up at 9 a.m., we'll still
Rule
be in
number
the
2?
40s, 48 degrees. What's the inspiration behind your artwork?
40 years of being around animals and selling all over the world.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to communicate.
The vibrant colors. Why do you put out such vibrant colors?
Really good drugs back in the 60s.
Rule number 4, your kid is not allowed to communicate with anybody that they don't know face to face. Look, somebody may hit up on my chat, say, I'm a friend of so-and-so. No, if you don't know that person face to face, you may not communicate with them, period. Good morning.
Wow, good morning.
Jamie. Hi, Jamie. I'm Tom Mack.
Nice to meet you.
30 seconds away. Is there a book here? Where's your
No,
book?
I didn't bring it up.
So we have Why Are You So Passionate? First Tip for Parents, Why Treat Everything as Permanent, How Parents Can Help Kids Avoid a Stranger Danger. I have stranger danger as an adult. I think everyone's going to shake me.
And we have stranger danger on the internet.
We should just have that in general. It's probably best. I'm Jamie. Jamie.
Why are you so passionate?
You have 4 kids, is that right?
I have 8 kids.
Oh, God bless America. You're trying to do be a saint.
We have 2 that we adopted. So we had enough, and then we have more.
Photos of them.
That's for fun.
Back
Okay,
home, and
something
this is
super.
what they would transform.
This guy right here came out the inside of my car window, and I was looking at my ex-wife, and the giraffe had his head right beside hers, and said, "Carrie, look to your left." And she looks, and his head was right there, and he stuck out that tongue with a little console to all the food. And as he was pulling away, this is what I got right here. And then as I went through the sunroof, I got the one right here.
Beautiful. All right, so this is just one of about 55 vendors they have down here at Gilbert's Holiday Art Walk. It is the final art walk before the Christmas season. You can pick up beautiful works of art like Kevin's here, but they've also got a lot of different handcrafted, one-of-a-kind items. You're looking for somebody, that one person that's super hard to shop for, you might find their gift down here, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. here, right under the water tower in Gilbert.
Kim and Tara, thank you so much.
Well, kids have cell phones and laptops and tablets, oh my, game players as well. All new tech ways that maybe a predator could find your child. So how do you protect them from something that you'd rather not have to explain to them? So we have Tom Mack here. He is the author of Not in My House. And Tom is not only an author, but a father of 8 children.
We do. We have 8 children, 2 that we adopted from an orphanage in Ukraine. And you know, they're grown up now, and they've all turned out great.
Yes.
But you know, we learned a lot of things raising the kids, and we've got 5 rules to help keep our kids safe from online predators, cyberbullies, and internet addictions.
So we're starting with our first tip for the parents to keep the kids safe, and what is that?
So tip number 1 is kids are not allowed to take their cell phones, laptops, and tablets into their bedroom.
Okay.
Look, behind closed doors, you don't know who they're talking to or what they're looking at. They can get into all kinds of trouble. So tip 1 is anything that you can surf the internet on doesn't go in the bedroom. Not in my house.
Not in my house, says Tom Mack. I like that. Are you going to say that after every tip?
Maybe.
Maybe. We're going to find out. So let's ask you more, because you say treat everything as if it's permanent.
Everything that the kids publish,
Text or
they text,
send
they
a
chat,
photo.
it's all public and it's
Right.
all permanent. It never goes away. Look, you wouldn't give your kid a loaded gun, but that's essentially what you do when you give them an HD video camera and unrestricted internet access. They can post pictures and videos of themselves and of other kids that have the potential to destroy somebody's life.
I see this middle one. Don't text or email anyone you don't know face to face.
Right. That's really important.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know somebody, it's like stranger danger on the internet.
They really, I mean, what's the connection? Why should they be reaching out? I mean, imagine there's, you know, Instagram, people chat on those things.
You don't know who somebody is. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the, 45-year-old guy, posing to be a 13-year-old
Right.
girl. You don't know who anybody is. So if you don't know them face to face, you do not text, email, chat, or communicate with them. Period.
Not
It
in
is
my house.
Not in my house. It's not allowed.
Yeah, I agree with that one very strongly. I think, you just don't even know. You ask your children to sign a contract.
They do. So before we buy them a cell phone or before we renew their cell phone plan, they need to sign a written agreement agreeing to our 5 rules.
Yeah.
And look, if they don't want to follow the rules that we've set, that's okay.
They don't have a cell
get
phone.
a phone. And if they break the rules, we break their phone.
Oh,
So
my.
one of my daughters, she broke
It's
the
harsh.
rules.
It's harsh in your house.
Oh,
What happened?
wait. She broke the rules. I took her phone and a big screw and a drill, and I drilled her phone into the door frame
Oh my
of her
gosh.
bedroom so that she couldn't close her door. And every time she walked into her bedroom, she had to walk past and see her ruined phone.
And then her siblings also had to see this as
Oh, yes.
the, what could happen to me.
Oh, yes. And you know what? We never had another phone problem in the house.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me at all.
It is
Tom,
so
how
much
can we
fun.
find your book?
It's available on Amazon.com.
Not in My House by Tom Mack. Can we say it one more time?
Not in my house.
See, there you go. We're going to be right back. Thanks, Tom.
Those are good tips there.
Good stuff. Thank you
Thank you very much. Not my house.
Yeah, nice. You get it now? When you go to bigger studios and you have bigger talent, it's better.
Mhm.
It gets
Oh.
easier to do a great job. See how great she was? She really played up on it all. As you get bigger and bigger, it gets better and better. Great job. One critique: don't stand up after it's over. You don't get out of that chair until they tell you to get out of that chair.
Okay, did I stand up before she did?
Yeah.
Because she said goodbye.
Hey,
and
you don't get
the
up out
cameras
of that
changed.
chair
Okay.
until somebody comes and tells you to get out of that chair.
Okay.
You should still be sitting in that chair.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. She said goodbye and I saw the cameras changed.
Oh, I get it.
So-
I don't care.
I understand. Good rule.
You stay in the chair
I saw-
until they tell you.
I saw some videos of with you to say that. So I was aware of that. Wait until it's over. All right.
Cool. Wasn't perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. But it was great.
So, we missed a tip. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
She led with her questions.
And she loved the whole Not in My House. That was great. I mean, she even started it. It was awesome. And how about that story? Drilling the thing in the wall. It's a great story. Great job, man.
Well, you want to make more money, right? There are 5 things you should probably never say. So meet Clint Arthur. He wrote The Speaking Game, 7-figure speaker secrets revealed so that we can, haul in the cash and maybe be extra good to our friends and family this Christmas season. Clint, good morning to you.
Good morning, Arizona.
So you're going to tell us what not to say.
I learned recently that I make more money than 99% of the speakers in the National Speakers Association, and I've learned that there are 5 things you should never say if you want to make more money.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the first thing is, let me think about it. Why do we never say that?
Don't think about stuff, make decisions. People who make a lot of money make decisions. And also, you know what you really mean when you say, let me think about it? You really mean no. So have the courage to say no to the sales guy and move on with your life instead of forcing him to call you.
Okay, let me think about it is you already know the answer.
The other side of it is you should think about it. That's a chicken salesperson, okay?
Oh.
Don't tell your customers or prospects to think about things. Urge them to make a decision.
Okay.
Encourage them to say yes, because they can't get the benefit of who you are and what you offer unless they say yes and give you a credit card. So don't have them think about it, have them say yes.
This is the moment for you to grasp, and it's going to be a great opportunity for you.
Let's
right?
move forward together into a big, beautiful world.
I woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Don't have regrets in life. You're going to win, you're going to lose, or you're going to break even. One of those. And either way, you're going to learn.
Maybe all throughout life. I mean, life's a long road sometimes.
One at a time.
Okay, yes.
So learn from each of those experiences and then move on. Don't have regrets. Just learn lessons because that's really what you're getting in life.
Okay, we're going to learn a lot of lessons. Okay, what is our next one? I think we had that full screen up.
Number
going back
4 is, let me give you a discount.
Yes.
I don't want to give discounts. People who make a lot of money don't give discounts. They charge full price and they charge a lot of money for what they're doing. So encourage your customers or prospects to pay you a lot of money and never give them a discount. Give them a bonus instead of a discount.
What does that mean? What's a bonus?
So for example, let's say you're an auto mechanic and the person says, can I have these brakes for $2.99 instead of $3.99? Say, well, I can't discount the brake job, but I will wash your car for you when you come to pick it up. It'll be nice and clean.
Well, a little extra treat.
Yeah, bonus. Bonuses are great.
Bonuses are great.
And then number 5 is,
can I
have a discount? discount. Don't ask for discounts. Be a baller. Aren't you a baller?
Oh yeah,
You
come on,
want to
everyone
be a
knows
baller.
that.
You want to be the guy or gal
I got this.
who is rolling through life and ruling the world.
Yeah.
And when you pull up to valet parking, they're happy to see you because you're the
Yeah.
baller. So don't ask for a discount. Pay full price and expect to get great performance, great service, great product, great stuff every time you buy stuff.
You are a baller, my friend.
Oh, well, I'm just having fun.
And you said that you are highly paid in your field of speaking.
I make a lot of money.
So why are you making more money than the other guys?
I know how to speak, I know what to say, what not to say, and most importantly, I know how to say it, because how you say what you say is way more important than what you say. Communication is nonverbal.
Do you sing a lot when you're pitching yourself?
I find that singing is free. You know, you want to be free. Don't you want to be free?
I am free.
Do you want to be free?
Free
if
and
you want to
wild.
be free, then speak like it's a game. That's what I find.
The speaking game. That is the name of your book. And one of the things that you say that we should say is your full name. So always say, I'm Jamie Soretta.
You
Not
do,
just,
don't
Hi,
you?
I'm Jamie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I really do.
Celebrities generally say their full name.
Why is that?
Because it presents you as a more powerful position and also the brand. So, for example, I met Daniel Baldwin one time,
Yeah.
and I thought it was Alec Baldwin. It was I thought it was a heavier, more tattoo-covered version of Alec Baldwin. And I put out my hand to shake, and he goes, "Hey, I'm Daniel Baldwin." Full name.
Right.
Every
Right
time,
there.
because that's the brand.
Right.
And also, when you call up a restaurant and say, "Hey, I'd like to come," I say, "This is Clint Arthur. I'd like to come in for dinner with my wife at 8 o'clock." They're thinking, well, I don't know who Clint Arthur is, but he must be somebody if he's saying his full name.
Okay.
It's a
now we
very
have
powerful, subtle thing.
The last 5 up here, but we don't have time. We're going to let people get the book. The Speaking Game by Clint Arthur, his 88th interview on television.
Yay.
Right here with me.
Yeah.
And 8 is all about the money, right? It's the number of money.
Double 8, double money. If you want more money, play the Speaking Game. It's on Amazon.com.
Awesome.
And if you pre-order the hardcover, email me.
Do we get a bonus?
I of course gave you a bonus. You can email me. I'll send you the Kindle immediately for free and bonus videos for free.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you, Clint.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day.
So last time I was in this studio, I got to this door, and I realized that sitting down over there in a scooter was the 700-pound woman who was on Dr. Oz. They were previewing it when I was on Good Morning Arizona the last time. And I got to this door, and I almost walked out this door, but you know, when you walk out the door, you can't come back in. That's right. And I thought to myself, should I get a selfie with the 700-pound woman? And then I thought, do I want a selfie with the 700-pound woman? And then I went over and I said, excuse me, are you the person who was on Dr. Oz? And she said, yes, I am the person who was on Dr. Oz. I said, could I get a photo with you? And she goes, did you hear that? She says to her friend, did you hear that? He wants a picture with me. No one ever asked me for a picture before. I said, I hardly even recognized you. And she goes, I know, I've lost over 300 pounds since I was on Dr. Oz show. See, she made a commitment to change her life by going on TV. And I'm glad I got to meet her, and I have that selfie, and I show it all the time. Wow.
That was great.
How is that working with that quality of an anchor?
So she was intelligent, she was funny, she led the segment, she was very interactive, and she was interesting, and she was interested in the topic. She wasn't just there as a mannequin throwing in silliness.
Yeah.
It was all a very intelligent conversation, and she did a great job of leading.
Yeah. And when you get to the bigger stations, into the bigger cities, it's number 11 market in America, and this is the number 1 morning show in this state. When you get to this level of talent, it becomes easier to do a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to watch it. I won't watch it back, but I'm pretty sure that was one of my best interviews of all time.
It was awesome.
I did everything I wanted to accomplish in that interview. I told you I wanted to sing. I sang. I had fun. She mentioned it was my 88th interview. Yeah. I mentioned that. I mean, that's always good when you mention how many times you've been on TV, so many times. I tell you what, they called in like a relief anchor. If he hadn't shown up, she would have had me.
She would have let you do it.
She would have had me anchor. It would have been great. But, you know, and I said to her, remember what I told you at Celebrity Launchpad is your number 1 job in the studio is to seduce the host. Was I seducing that host?
Absolutely.
I was, right?
She was easy to seduce.
Easy to seduce. Yeah, that was it. That one was easy to seduce. It's tougher when you're like, you know, crossing sexual preference barriers, but that chick was, that was an easy job number one right there this morning. And, you know, but I had to do it in a way that wasn't like sexual harassment. I did it more like I appealed to her professionalism. I said, you know, I have so much respect for you and what you've accomplished, right? You heard me say that.
Yeah.
And she really appreciated that because, you know, for them, it's a job. For them, they don't have, like, they don't really appreciate as much what I appreciate about them and what I respect about them. To them, they're just showing up for work.
Just going through the motions.
That guy who came in, the relief anchor, he said he had been called out of bed 20 minutes earlier. He just rolled in. And
he looked like he just rolled in.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's like, come on, man, we're going to make your network audition tape right here today, right? And to me, shit, if I was in there, I'll tell you what, if I was the relief anchor this morning, they would be getting a whole different performance out of me than they're going to get out of that guy because he doesn't have that fresh perspective and appreciation that I do that makes it possible for me to seduce a host in a way that's professional and ambitious and exciting and makes them feel great about who they are and doesn't cross any boundaries that I shouldn't be crossing, especially in today's day and age. Woo, woo. All right, what's your number one takeaway from our 2 studio appearances together?
Wow. So it gets easier the more you do, definitely. And the bigger stations are actually easier than the smaller stations. Much more interactive, much more fun, a little bit more pressure.
Yep.
But stepping up to the challenge.
Yep. Good. I want you to appreciate, though, that this was easier for you today because what were you doing yesterday?
Working.
Working what?
Just you know, working on the segment.
And in studio in Tucson.
Right.
And what were you doing the day before?
Practicing it and practicing it.
Where were you the day before?
Reno.
In Reno in a studio. And where were you the day before that?
Albuquerque.
Okay, so think about how this is your 4th show in 4 days.
Yeah.
It gets a lot easier when you do 4 shows in 4 days, right?
Oh, it really does.
Yeah.
Much easier.
Yeah. Did Allie help you with any of that?
Oh yeah, she helped coordinate everything.
Yeah.
Thanks, Allie.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is a real pleasure to work with a titanium client like Tom Mack, who has the commitment and the dedication and implements and does what I say. We put that story in about screwing in the gun, drilling in the cell phone into the wall just today,
Yep.
right?
Throw it in this morning.
How do you feel about making that last minute adjustment?
I adjusted. It's that's pressure for me. I would have liked to have been able to have that and rehearse that and practice that, but I did it. I did it on the fly, and I'm much freer to express myself than I have been. I'm growing. I'm very much growing into that.
Fantastic.
That's exciting.
So Tom just said it's only going to get better and better. Sometimes it doesn't. Like yesterday wasn't a great one for me.
Yeah.
Right? Compare yesterday to today.
Oh, totally different.
So, yeah. So it may not always get better and better, but I'll tell you what, the next time I'm in studio with you is going to be at a big show because you're supposed to get 2 in studio coaching sessions with me as a titanium. So we're just going to count this one as 1 because it was like, you know, a little road trip that we did and it was a lot of fun. And it was a special circumstance. I mean, not everybody's going to get 2 appearances with me in studio at the same time. I'll try. But the next time you and I are in studio together, we're going to be in a big studio. We're going to be in LA, New York, Chicago, or on a national show.
Well, we'll be in Chicago in a few weeks.
Oh. You going on in Chicago?
Yeah.
When?
With you in January.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Talk to Allie.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. All right, great. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I need to go on in Chicago. And I'd much rather go there with you than by myself. Oh, man. All right.
I'm going to do Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Chicago in one trip.
Great.
Ending in Chicago. So it'll be another one, 3 in a row.
Good.
Working up to the bigger stations.
Good. Wow. I'm going to try to do Washington, D.C. too. I mean, I haven't been on Washington, D.C. I've been on, I'll tell you what, ADC Chicago is big.
Yeah.
It's big. And I've been on there 2 times. I've never been on in Washington, D.C. yet. So I'm excited about that. Hey everybody, it's Clint Arthur, and I'm making this video from a really important place in my life. This corner here, 300 Van Buren and Central Avenue, right across the street from the Westin, right up the street from this parking place. And what happened to me was, on January 3rd, 2013, I did 3 TV appearances here in Phoenix, all on the same topic. 3 New Year's resolutions you should never make. And in between the second and the third appearances, I parked my car in that parking lot right there. And I started walking this way to NBC affiliate, which is in that brown and glass building over there. And as I started walking, it was 80 degrees. I'm wearing a wool suit and a tie. And I get to this corner and I just stopped on the corner and I thought to myself, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing in Phoenix, Arizona in a suit, 80-degree weather, going to a TV appearance over there? What the hell am I doing? I'll tell you what I was doing. I was paying my dues and building celebrity for my personal brand. And at that point, 2013, I was somewhere around 35 television appearances, somewhere in there, 36, something like that. And I didn't know where it was going, but I knew that becoming a celebrity, quote unquote, in the eyes of my customers and prospects was the smartest thing that I could do for my career. I knew that. And I didn't have a clear path of where it was going or what it was going to take me to, nothing. I just knew that, hey, I can get on TV anytime I want for free, so I should. I should go do as many TV appearances as I possibly can because I can. And doing them is only gonna help me. It's not gonna hurt me in any way. It barely costs me anything. A night in a hotel, a flight on Southwest Airlines, and that's it. That's all it costs for me to go on a show. And sometimes I could do more than one in a day. Like that day, I did 3 in one day. So where was I going? I didn't know, but I knew that the strategy of becoming a celebrity in the eyes of customers and prospects was a smart thing. Less than 1 year later, I was on the Today Show with Brooke Shields interviewing me, and on my way to making millions of dollars. And some of the producers that I met on that little media tour that I was doing that week with the New Year's resolutions, some of those producers, in fact, I was on one of them's show yesterday. I was on Ken Carr's show on the Morning Blend in Tucson. He's a great friend of mine. He has come to 35 celebrity launchpads. I didn't even have Celebrity Launchpad at that point in time. It hadn't been created yet. But later in that tour, literally January 3rd, I'm standing on this corner and I said to myself, what am I doing? Where am I going? I don't know. On January 9th, I went on Ken Carr's show and I had a conversation with him after the show and asked him, hey, if I do something where I teach my friends and students how to book themselves on TV shows, would you as a producer like to participate and perhaps get some guests for your show? And he said, yeah, sure. That was the beginning of it all. And in April, we had our first Celebrity Launchpad. Lisa Sasevich was in the class, and everybody booked more than the guaranteed minimum of 2 appearances. Since then, we've been so successful. Now, we guarantee if you come to Celebrity Launchpad, you're gonna book yourself on at least 3 shows, or you get all your money back plus $1,000. And nobody gets less than 4 bookings. The average person at our last Celebrity Launchpad event, just a couple of weeks ago, it was our 35th Celebrity Launchpad. The average person booked 9 television appearances during the weekend. So where's that going to take you? Well, at Celebrity Launchpad, I will teach you dozens of ways for you to make money and have more impact and more influence in the world and in your world by becoming a celebrity on TV in the eyes of your customers and prospects. You are never going to be Kim Kardashian. I had an Uber driver the other day. He goes, you know, the way you talk, are you a celebrity? Are you famous? That's what he said. And I said, I'm about as famous as you can be without anybody knowing who you are. My customers and prospects know who I am. My clients, my students know who I am. My prospects know who I am and look at me as higher status than them because I go on TV. I just did my 88th television appearance today and it was freaking off the hook. And I've gained so much freedom and power in this adventure of becoming a celebrity. And if you want freedom and power, come take the adventure for yourself. It's guaranteed to work. I guarantee. All you got to do is do what I say. Really, at Celebrity Launchpad, all you got to do is show up and do what I say, and you're going to book yourself on a bunch of TV shows. Over the course of 35 Celebrity Launchpads, the average attendee has booked 7.4 television appearances. This most recent one was a really great one. And look, they're all great, but they're all great. They're all great. So if that's of interest to you, if you want the adventure and you want the freedom and power, come to Celebrity Launchpad. Go to guaranteedcelebrity.com and fill out the brief application. It'll take you a minute. And screw on some cojones. That's what you got to do, really. You got to step up and say, I want to go out on that adventure. I want to have more freedom as an entrepreneur. I want more power as an entrepreneur. I want to have my prospects admire me because I'm higher status than them, because I go on TV all the time. And I guarantee I can make that happen for you. I give you my exact mathematical formula for how to get on TV anytime you want for free. You execute it. I create your pitch for you. I teach you the mistakes to avoid so you don't look weak or stupid or goofy on TV. I will teach you how to walk, talk, dress, think, perform, act, and make money like celebrities do. That's what Celebrity Launchpad is all about. And if you want it, you gotta step up. I cannot do it for you. You gotta step up. The last thing you ever want to do is say, I woulda, coulda, shoulda stepped up for this. But I'm telling you, I know this can make all the difference in your career. I've seen it over and over and over. Look at the testimonials on guaranteedcelebrity.com. Look at the case studies. You can do this. You just have to say, I want it. So say yes, step up, fill out the application. I'm looking forward to seeing you on television.